cold. Can't I even look at the pretty man?
You know, one of the funniest things I heard was James Comey was hiding in the curtains so Trump wouldn't see him. Dude is 6'8" or something like that. It's hard to hide 6'8". It's hard to hide 6'8". Hey, is it just me or do you see that giant hiding over there in the curtains?
Do you have evidence that there was in fact collusion between Trump associates and Russia during the campaign?
Not at this time.
What difference at this point does it make?
The last time we spoke, Senator, I asked you if you had actually seen evidence, and I'm quoting you now, you said, not at this time. Has anything changed since we spoke last?
Well, no, it hasn't.
What difference at this point does it make?
8 of those chains were top secret. 26 of those chains
I said it was a mistake.
And 8 contained confidential information.
What difference at this point does it make?
Whether there were improper contacts between the Trump campaign and Russian officials.
Not to my knowledge.
We have this very strange story now of this young man who worked for the Democratic National Committee who apparently was assassinated at 4 in the morning, having given WikiLeaks something like 53,000 emails and 17,000 attachments. Nobody's investigating that. And what does that tell you about what was going on?
If you grow your sideburns out, you look like one of them bullfighting fellers. You know, getting old never gets old. I wake up every day and play a game. What new place do I have hair growing today? You can't grow hair there.
At the dessert course, he gets 2 scoops of vanilla ice cream with his chocolate cream pie instead of the single scoop for everyone else.
So Obama gives $150 billion to Iran. He gives $600 million to Hezbollah. But OMG, Trump got 2 freaking scoops of ice cream. Really? See, this is today's news media, folks. 100% socialist propaganda, where Trump is Hitler, Nixon, Lee Harvey Oswald, the Confederate flag, and Satan all rolled up into one. Everything you could possibly hate, all in one convenient location. I mean, these people are so deranged, I've run out of adjectives.
What has happened is, after liberal donors shelled out more than $700 million to put Hillary Clinton in the White House, Donald Trump won. And that prompted a national freakout on the left.
They are more respectful of terrorists and cross-dressers than they are President Trump and the millions of Americans that voted for him. I mean, seriously, look, over across the pond, the BBC is doing a series on the epidemic of all these violent gang rapes sweeping across Europe. And they're not mentioning Islam.
We say we're sorry.
Oh, yeah. Aside from that, Mrs. Lincoln, how'd you like to play? Really? And then over here, NBC is doing these glowing human interest stories on sexual deviants and perverts. Here, look, a drag queen convention. But it's not just any drag queen convention. They have stuff for the kids. You have nothing for my kid. I'm gonna tell you this right now. Riding a bearded lady's lap for only $1. Get away. My red line, no crossing. But see, as you travel around the liberal looniverse, I like that term from Chris Plant. Did you see this liberal woman from up in Oregon with her 2 kids? She comes completely unglued when she sees this store selling the rugs with a Confederate flag on them.
So you don't care about having hate flags on your wall?
Huh? A Confederate flag is a symbol of slavery and lynching and raping of black people. That's like having a swastika on your wall. It's no different. This is shameful. This is everyday deals here in Southeast Portland. And this is where I usually do some grocery shopping, but today we are in here and we spot a Confederate flag. And they don't care.
But what's actually hilarious is when she's out in the parking lot getting to her car, she's screaming at the employee, "Get away from me!" He's nowhere near her.
Please leave me alone. Walk away from me. I cannot leave when you keep approaching me from back. This is horrifying. Leave me alone. Go away. Please tell him to leave me alone. He just assaulted me in the store, called me a bitch, and now he's following with me on 2 kids. Get away from me. Oh my God. Yes, I am crying. Oh my God. Please tell him to go. I did. You're okay. No, I'm not. He just attacked me at the door and he's still following me.
Who needs Hollywood when you have entertainment like this? I mean, the election of Donald J. Trump has just caused the wheels to come completely off the liberal bus.
Wait! We can't stop here. This is bad country.
You know, somehow firing James Comey is 100% proof of a cover-up, but hiding a private server in your bathroom, deleting 30,000 emails, and an impromptu secret meeting between your spouse and the Attorney General, well, that's just standard operating procedure. You know what? The time for shaking our heads and eye rolling is over. And just because at times I may disagree with somebody, you know, I don't care if somebody was an always Trumper, a partial Trumper, or a never Trumper. If they're on my side now, if they're fighting the radical left that's poisoning our schools, our media, and our government using Reagan's 80-20 rule, they're on my side. They're on my side.
They use their media to assassinate real news. They use their schools to teach children that their president is another Hitler. They use their movie stars and singers and comedy shows and award shows to repeat their narrative over and over again. And then they use their ex-president to endorse the resistance, all to make them march, make them protest, make them scream racism and sexism and xenophobia and homophobia, to smash windows, burn cars, shut down interstates and airports, bully and terrorize the law-abiding, until the only option left is for the police to do their jobs and stop the madness. And when that happens, they'll use it as an excuse for their outrage. The only way we stop this, the only way we save our country and our freedom, is to fight this violence of lies with the clenched fist of truth.
Boom! The clenched fist of truth, baby. I like that. Hell yeah. And welcome to Intellectual Froglegs. But before we get started, I want to do a shout out to a longtime friend and proud Air Force vet, Rick Johnson, who's recovering from not 1 but 2 back-to-back surgeries at the Durham VA. Godspeed, Rick. Thank you for your service, brother. And went back to the media. This insane behavior is designed to discourage you and distract you because you know what really freaks them out? Trump's getting stuff done. They don't want you to see it, but as a matter of fact, albeit quietly, America is vastly improving. Did you know that in addition to the return of American steel and American coal and American oil, China just agreed to allow the United States to sell beef and other major products into China again? Boom. Saudi Arabia, they're upset because we're drilling too much oil. And Trump's just warming up. He's just getting warmed up. You know, he's doing everything he can do without Congress. And we'll deal with them next year. The elections of 2018. Start taking notes. And now with Comey gone, I think we're going to see the swamp starting to drain a little bit faster. But some people are mad because it took so long. You know what? Trump's smart. You know, you got to learn to lay the land. You just can't come in and start firing people. You got to scope things out before you go on the offensive. Just wait till he gets comfortable. Just wait till he gets comfortable.
And I will fight every day until he is impeached.
He should be charged by way of impeachment.
Change the dynamics on the investigations that would lead potentially to an impeachment.
May well produce impeachment proceedings.
So I think we're actually pretty close to considering impeachment.
I am studying more about the impeachment process.
Jeffries also suggested that high crimes and treason may have been committed, which would be grounds for impeaching President Trump.
Donald Trump has already done a number of things which legitimately raised the question of impeachment.
He said if there was an impeachment clock, we just moved an hour closer.
That's going to look like an impeachable offense.
This president needs to be impeached.
Hey, this is Paul Nealon, and I'm taking a break from the motorcycle to watch some intellectual Froglegs. God bless y'all.
After my election, I have more flexibility.
Yeah, I understand. I transmit this information to Vladimir and
Nothing to see here. Well, see, right now he's been working on Congress, which is frustrating to watch, as it probably is to be involved with. But it stands to reason that this, which is his first Congress, is going to be his most hostile and his most resistant. And when you're dealing with a giant slug like Congress, any forward momentum is a positive. So that House bill passed. It's just a slightly less stinky piece of crap than Obamacare, but it is slightly less stinky. But you gotta keep things in perspective when you're dealing with this Congress, especially this first one. It's hard to hit a home run in the swamp. Sometimes you just got to get on base. And seeing how the Republicans in D.C. have never experienced winning. So in this case, a base hit was important as a home run, and Trump wanted to try to give him a taste of victory. That's what I think. And now it's gone to the Senate. It's far from over. But my bet is for the next 8 years, there's going to be different versions of this health care bill bouncing back and forth. I think it'll end up decent, but it'll still have too much government.
Have you ever heard of some fellows who first came over to this country? You know what they found? They found a howling wilderness, with summers too hot and winters freezing. Did they have insurance for their old age, for their crops, for their homes? They did not. They looked at the land and the forests and the rivers. They looked at their wives, their kids, and their houses. And then they looked up at the sky and they said, "Thanks, God. We'll take it from here." They were rugged fellows. They were men.
Now I want you to imagine, if you will, Donald Trump's Secretary of State, Rex Tillerson, with a private server. How would the media react to that? Well, you know what? Sometimes you just got to put things in perspective, and Sundance, our pal over at the Conservative Treehouse, does it as well as anybody. And Sundance said, and I paraphrase, "This is no small thing to restore a republic after it's fallen into corruption. In fact, nobody can recall it ever happening, and it may be that our task is impossible. But if we don't try, then how do we know we can't do it? And if we don't try now, right now, it most certainly won't be done. And our founders' republic and the larger war for Western civilization will be lost. Europe's half Muslim now as it is."
London calling to the faraway towns. Now war is declared and battle come down. London calling.
On the next Black is the New Orange.
I ain't no orange, mother.
Your proposition may be good, but let's have one thing understood. Whatever it is, I'm against it. And even when you've changed it or condensed it, I'm against it.
So let's jump from Congress and go over to the Department of Justice. Trump doesn't need Congress to restore law and order. And while we applaud the enforcement of our immigration laws and taking out these violent gangs like MS-13, it's time for our Attorney General to start arresting some big fish. Because what we've been witnessing over the last 8 years is organized crime at the highest levels. Weaponizing government to take out their opponents. We witnessed treason, violation after violation of the Espionage Act. And when we were chanting, "Lock her up," we weren't asking. Breaking the law, breaking the law, breaking the law, breaking the law. So whether it's Susan Rice, Hillary Clinton, Lois Lerner, or that other creepy guy from the IRS, or Donna Brazile, it don't matter. We want heads on a platter.
It's the same old story, same old story, same old song and dance. For my darling, I love you.
It's pretty all the time, Frank.
Sure does, buddy.
And I always will.
You know what, since I recorded the first part of the show, the swamp's gone crazy. The deep state media has cranked it up to 11 on the Trump derangement meter. We're no longer watching sore losers. This is an attempted coup right before our very eyes, and it comes as no surprise. These people are enraged. They are insane with hatred and a socialist agenda.
Is impeachment now on the table?
Impeachable offense.
Democrats calling for impeachment.
Another impeachment process?
And at the top of this pyramid of insanity, you got the New York Times and the Washington Post throwing out lie after lie after lie, being gobbled up by their comrades in the broadcast news media and the entertainment media. Hell, ABC just fired their only conservative, Tim Allen. But if you don't kiss their socialist ass, you're not welcome. These people are miserable. And you know what? We're not going to waste our time addressing their liberal fantasies. Just remember what Dana said at the beginning of the video. The clenched fist of truth. Man, President Trump needs to go after the money sources. George Soros is a good place to start. You got billions and billions of dollars from all around the world being spent to ratchet up these left-wing attacks in the United States. And that's the thing about these globalists. Not only are they obscenely rich, they have obscenely rich friends. And they've been planning Trump's impeachment since the night he won the election. And don't you dare for a minute think this is not a war. And the only way we're going to win it is we have to restore law and order. We have to restore law and order. The First Amendment does not give carte blanche to newspapers or other media or press to lie with impunity. And that's why Donald Trump absolutely needs to bring back the libel laws on the press. In fact, you know what? That's the only way you will ever return any credibility back to these frauds in the news media. Hold their ass accountable. And bringing back libel laws will not inhibit investigative or undercover journalism. No, not at all. It just means that if the New York Times or the Washington Post intentionally lie about Mr. Smith can sue their asses.
MSNBC, you are fake news. The New York Times, you are fake news.
CBS, NBC, ABC,
BBC, LA Times,
you are fake news.
The Washington Post,
you are fake news.
CNN,
Very fake news.
Politico, AP,
HuffPo, BuzzFeed.
Failing pile of garbage. And I've been hearing more and more about a thing called fake news.
Fake news.
I've seen people destroyed, and I think it's very unfair. Some of the media outlets that I deal with are fake news.
Fake
news.
I think it's a disgrace, the absolute disgrace, but I don't think they care.
As my favorite Uncle Phil says, fake news is not just what they tell you, it's what they don't tell you. It's what they don't tell you. Case in point, a big one too. Seth Rich, a DNC staffer, gunned down in Washington, D.C. last year during a presidential election. And the total lack of interest on behalf of our media, that's what raises all the flags. Because unlike their Russia fabrication, in this case, you have evidence, you have sources, and you have facts. Well, we also learned that Seth transferred 44,000 emails and 17,000 attachments to WikiLeaks. And all these are communications between the DNC leaders during this election period.
Rumors spreading round in that Texas town about the shack outside the game.
It was not the Russians that hacked the DNC. This was an inside job. Then you look, Julian Assange all but identified Seth as his WikiLeaks informant.
Whistleblowers go to significant efforts to get us material and often very significant risks. There's a 27-year-old works for the DNC who was shot in the back, murdered.
He put out a $20,000 reward for information leading to the conviction for the murder of the DNC staffer, Seth Rich. Then, on the Russia thing, you can't even answer basic questions. I mean, who exactly did what with whom? And what specific statute or law was broken?
The statue of Robert E. Lee is now being lifted off the pedestal.
Let's watch.
I sent a message to another time, but as the days unwind, this I just can't believe. I sent a note across another plane. Maybe it's all a game, but this I just can't conceive. Can you hear me? I tried the very latest comical. I don't know where you are.
If you get into a discussion with somebody over this, ask them those questions. Don't argue with them. But I'm telling you, this Seth Rich murder completely knocks the remaining wobbly legs out from under their Russia story.
Amos Moses was a Cajun. He lived by himself in the swamp. He hunted alligator for a living. He just knock him in the head with a stone. I'm born off Mexican radio.
What a tangled web we weave when we practice to deceive, or however it goes. James Comey is a dirty cop. And he's always been a friend of the Clintons. Did you know that since 1996, James Comey has investigated Bill and or Hillary Clinton 4 times? Since 1996, 4 times they walk. You know, the FBI never even looked at the DNC's computers or their servers.
As to whether the FBI requested access to the DNC's services, the Democratic Congressional Committee servers, and John Podesta's personal devices. Did the FBI request access to those devices to perform forensics on?
Yes, we did.
Were you given access to do the forensics on those servers?
We were not. We were a highly respected private company, eventually got access and shared with us what they saw there.
They took the word of a company hired by the DNC. And the only people to look at the DNC servers are these CrowdStrike people who now refuse to testify in front of Congress. But that's where the Russian story originated. Not from one of our intelligence agencies, but from CrowdStrike. In the name of their socialist agenda, as Chuck Woolery so accurately put it, they're burning down everything inside.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
Anyway, before we go, I want to send out a special shout out and a belated happy birthday to my Aunt Jean.
Happy birthday to you.
Love you, Aunt Jean. Thank you guys for being here. Please stop by the website, intellectualfroglegs.com. Sign up for the show alerts. Donate if you can. Froglegs are free to watch, but they ain't free to make. And we are 100% funded by you guys. And if you're too broke to donate, we're probably cousins. and just because next month is my birthday, don't feel obligated to send me any birthday cash. Please share the show with everybody you can, and I hope you'll come back for the next hair-raising episode of Intellectual Froglegs. God bless.